Enemies in EDF don't just attack at random. There's a simple but effective system deciding who gets targeted, when aggro switches, and why you may suddenly find yourself becoming the focus of too many targets. Once you understand this hidden system, you can take control of the battlefield and elevate your chances of surviving. Behavioral states. Every single enemy in the game will operate between two observable states at a time. A small number of enemy types have an extra mode when certain mission conditions are met. The two main states being passive and combative. That said, the shift between the two isn't instantaneous. Before entering full combat mode, enemies will often show a brief reaction to detected EDF presence through movement or an animation as a warning they're about to engage. There are 5 different possible triggers that'll cause an enemy to transition between states. The first is when an enemy receives any kind of damage, whether it comes from the player or a friendly NPC. Second, proximity. Too close and the bullets start flying. This also applies to certain enemy spawns, only triggering upon a player character or NPC reach a specific spot on the map. These kind of triggers, however, are few and far between. Next is chain aggro. This is when clustered enemies inherit the combat state of a triggered target, causing a single engagement to spread into a full group response. This is one of the most notorious causes of a mission failure. Fourth, when a wave's kill threshold is reached. In other words, when there's a mission with multiple waves, the next won't trigger unless a certain number of enemies are taken out. Finally, line of sight. This again only applies to a select few enemies. These invaders possess a slightly more advanced AI programming. Colonists, cosmonauts, Krulls, and Krakens all follow a different aggro rulebook. Unlike insect or machine-type enemies, once they reach their combat phase, it's possible for them to disengage and reset after a short time of them entering a search state. This can be achieved by taking advantage of terrain and buildings to break line of sight. Once line of sight has been successfully broken, the 4 enemy types will advance towards your last known location and begin searching. If they fail to reacquire a target, they'll eventually disengage. It's important to know that breaking line of sight doesn't fully reset them. Enemies that were previously alerted remain linked to that engagement. If you're detected again, they'll begin advancing once more, even if they don't currently have direct line of sight. At this point, tracking becomes visibility and shared aggro-based rather than distance-based. If they can see you, they can continue chasing you regardless of range. They'll remain in this heightened mode until they either lose you again or are neutralized. Combat loop logic. Now that it's been established how enemies shift into their combative state, let's break down further how their AI behaves once engaged. All regular enemy types follow a consistent 4-step combat loop. While attack speeds and travel times may vary between their type, the underlying decision-making logic is unchanged. First is target selection. Enemies prioritize the closest valid target, favoring whichever player or NPC presents the shortest path for their attack to land. Next is positioning. Enemies will move into a more advantageous spot before attacking, often pausing briefly as they align themselves. This is the moment where they appear to freeze, indicating an attack is about to be executed. Third, attack execution. Their attack window times vary by type, but they'll generally aim towards the center mass. For sustained attacks, such as drone lasers, their movement is effectively locked, and tracking is handled through rotation alone. Some enemies, usually organic types, will execute a sequence of attacks rather than a single action, cycling through multiple attacks before entering the next step. In this state, they continuously commit to whoever remains the closest viable option. Fourth, recovery and reevaluation. After an attack, enemies enter a brief cooldown window before re-accessing their available targets. This is where aggro can either remain locked or switch. The decision is influenced by factors such as distance and accessibility, with once again whoever is closest becoming the priority. Once the check is complete, the cycle repeats. Enemies simply operate on checkpoints, not a stream. The more advanced aliens I mentioned previously introduce new layers of behavioral patterns, such as incorporating the use of cover as a means of recovery and reevaluation. They also prioritize the source of incoming damage, actively returning fire and shifting target focus accordingly. Their programming is tailored to hyper-focus on player damage over NPCs, singling out the player even within a group. At range, this can appear as them momentarily turning toward the player before refocusing on closer NPCs, while still weighting damage received over proximity. This is the foundation, not the full picture. In future, I'll break down how to exploit and control the different enemy behaviors. Until next time.